Boatworks today is sponsored by Total Boat and Alexial Yacht Coatings, as well as supported by the generosity from the beautiful folks over on Patreon. Thank you so much. I will see you in a few months. Until then, piss off. I hated wearing that thing. So welcome back to the shop, everybody. Hope you are all doing very well. Now, this is not the video that I had originally planned to have ready for this week. I had to do a little bit of a sidestep because, well, quite honestly, I'm not ready with it. And, well, it is what it is. I'm going to blame that one squarely on physical therapy. Yep, I'm going to go there. Now, for those of you that don't know, real quick, 6 weeks ago I had some pretty extensive surgery done on my right shoulder. This one. And that in and of itself kind of slows you down. But the physical therapy, surprisingly, contrary to everything and everyone that I had talked to about, what the PT was actually going to, look like and make you feel, the sessions themselves were pretty straightforward. You do some uncomfortable things here and there, but for the most part, the sessions themselves didn't wipe me out. They didn't bother me at all. Now, that afternoon and specifically the next day, that's a much different story. And when you're doing, I was doing PT twice a week. So essentially I was losing almost 5 days of the week just kind of being laid up and whatever, not being able to do anything other than feel sorry for myself. So at this point, I am 6 weeks post-surgery. And if somebody had asked me 6 weeks ago if I would be at the point of being able to do this, have this kind of range of motion, I would have said absolutely not, at least not according to everything that I have read and that I've heard from, I've read online and heard from people that have had this, shoulder surgery thing done. So needless to say, I am absolutely thrilled with where things are at, and the physical therapists, they're tickled pink. I go in Monday morning for the 6 week checkup with the actual surgeon. And I'm going to be really curious to see what he thinks. I think he's going to be, happy with where things are at. But he may not be happy with what I've been doing these past 6 weeks. I'm not going to say that I broke all the rules, but I definitely I bent I would say I bent about half of the rules. So just real quick, for the first 2 weeks, I was religious about this. I wore that, I hate that stupid sling, but I wore that thing for really the first 13 days solid, except for when I had to take a shower. And even then, I was wearing a shower sling, right? So I was a good little boy for about 2 weeks. And then after that, when I was home inside the house, I took the sling off. And I made it a point to, when I was walking around, to move my shoulders, move my arms, do as much movement as I could, not to the point where it hurt, but to the point where I could feel that things were, being stretched out and that kind of thing. And I did that pretty much all day. I didn't wear the sling at all, except for when I went to bed. And I did that for about a week. And then, and if I ever had to leave the house, obviously then I wore it just kind of as a red flag for anybody just not to run into me, right? So that was at week 3. By week 4, I wasn't wearing the sling really at all during the day, inside the house or even outside, out in public. But I was still wearing it when I was sleeping, just because, reasons. I'm a side sleeper and this is the side that I like to sleep on. But then for the last 2 weeks, I haven't worn it at all, like at all. And I'm still trying to move my shoulder and do as much as I can. I'm not lifting anything, but I am definitely, putting my shoulders out, my arms up, doing as much movement as I can, because I was scared to death about getting what's called, I guess it's locked shoulder or something like that. And I'm not going to say that was a smart thing to do. I'm certainly not advising, anybody else that happens to stumble across this video to do that exact same thing. But that's what made sense for me. And I don't know if that had any play into, where I'm at with movement and comfort and that kind of thing. I gotta believe it had something to do with it. Whatever. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I guess at this point, I really don't care. But I am thrilled to death with where things are at. Now, at this point, kind of given where I'm at this point, again, only 6 weeks in, this may change my overall plan for getting my other shoulder done. Originally, I was hoping that I would be far enough along that by November I could possibly think about having this one done. You know, by that, hopefully this one would be up to par and be able to kind of, take over the heavy lifting. But I'm kind of wondering now if I might be able to push that up until like maybe August. So in August, September, if that's 2 months in, that would theoretically put me at the point where I'm at now, being able to do this for the boat shows, which should be easy peasy. And then certainly I would be far enough along where wintertime, I'm not even gonna be stressed about it. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. But when I go in to talk to the surgeon on Monday, I'll run all that past him. He knows the situation. Now, I fully understand and respect the fact that I still have a bit of a road ahead of me as far as the overall healing process. So I'm not going to do anything stupid intentionally. And I'm certainly not going to be doing much, if really any, lifting other than, what I'm told I can do through the physical therapist. But, even still, this feels so freeing. I feel like I'm 20 years younger. This is absolutely amazing. Way better, even though it's only, again, I can't get over the fact that it's only been 6 weeks. But even though I'm 6 weeks after, post-surgery, I should feel like dog shit. I feel way better than I did even before I even had the procedure done. So we're taking steps in the right direction, and I like that. That's a good thing. That's encouraging. I just hope that my left shoulder goes half as smooth. Well, maybe, just as smooth would actually be better, but even if it was half as good, I would still be okay with that. So I'm just going to keep this short and sweet. Again, this was not the video that I had hoped to have ready for this week, but it is what it is. Over the past few weeks, I've had a lot of people kind of check in just to say, how are things going? Just doing the nice thing. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So I guess this is just kind of more of just a real quick, brief update, but doing good. Feel great. So on that note, I'm just going to wrap this up. So as always, have a great weekend. I will see you again next weekend, which is going to be Memorial Weekend. And by then, the scheduled video should be all set. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you then. Yes, that was with my right shoulder. Bye.
This has been a Boatworks Today production.